If you're new to this channel, you'll actually find out and discover why so many of my people genuinely love the message I preach, and it's because I show vulnerability and weakness, and I show one of the greatest defeats in almost every single video. And in this one, I'm actually going to open up to you to about this horrible defeat that I experienced. Now, some of you may know that I'm Muslim, and you know that we don't drink, right? We just don't touch alcohol. But there was a time where the evil seeds of corruption were sprouted in my mind and the roots spread all of these seeds around. And I'm going to tell you the story of when and how that happened the first time due to peer pressure. I was ultimately defeated, and let me tell you the story. It was move-in day of university, right? And throughout the whole summer, I was just setting up everything, you know, spamming like my Instagram and random group chats, telling everyone. To be honest, I kind of let myself fall into that hole on purpose, right? Like I was digging my own grave. I was moving over from Dubai, the United Arab Emirates, and moving all the way to Canada. And I was just texting everyone, man, like, yeah, guys, party at my place. Oh my God. I was texting like 15 different guys, 15 different girls. My place. Yeah, man, I'm this guy. And I just like reframed myself and I transformed myself into that guy who does all this stuff. When in reality, I'd never done this stuff into my life. This is the power of the mind, right? But point is, alcohol is banned in the UAE. Never touched that shit in my life. And then, you know, travel to Canada and move-in day of university. Move-in day of university, I was never really planning to drink, but at the back of my mind, it was like, I'm not a stupid person. I may have been a weak person back then, but I'm not a stupid person. I already know, like, there would be some opportunities of these evils around me, right? And in my mind, I was like, yeah, man, just ignore it. We'll think about that later. And that was a very stupid decision, because when shit hits the fan, you don't have time to think about it later. So, move-in day comes in. Already, everyone's around me, man. You know, I'm speaking to everybody like this super social guy, talking with everyone, going to this guy's room, this guy's room, this guy's room. We were in residences in the dorms at the time. And I was just moving around like a fucking fly, just from room to room to room to room to room to room. And I'm pretending to be like this nice fucking. I wasn't pretending, I was actually helping people. But point is, I had ulterior intentions. I had the intentions of just kind of knowing everybody and being the guy that everyone comes to for like social events and everything. I had a very weird brain operating system, because for my whole life, I was just this lonely, isolated kid. And then this period of like leaving school and entering university, I was like, you know what, man, I'm going to do absolutely everything in my willpower to change that. And I did change that at a cost. On the first night, of course, Frosh Week, right? Frosh Week is what in Canada we call the week of freshmen, first week in university. Frosh night, I didn't drink anything because I kind of tried to stay away from that stuff. But, you know, I did other degenerate things, which I will not get into the likes of within this video, right? Let's just say women were involved. Yes, multiple. So night two comes, and this time we're like, okay, yeah, we're all going out. I have my own group of. You see how hard I'm quoting these marks? I have my own my own group of friends, and it's like, okay, we're actually gonna hit the streets now. We're gonna go around. We're just gonna collect people and like gather up this group, because there was this big parade going on. There was this huge parade going on. Imagine you're stuck in your building, right? And you're just with a couple of friends, and then you see a whole parade walking outside. Like guys, like 3,000, 4,000 people just marching down like the University Avenue, the big street. Of course, we don't want to miss out, right? But what we also realized was that they were all drinking. Now, all of the guys were underage, and including myself, right? All of us were underage. But some of us weren't. Some of us provided us with drinks and everything. And then a bunch, like my group of like 30 people, all of them, like they just got provided drinks and everything. They bought some, whatever. And then I'm just speaking and talking. And then there was this one guy who was my closest friend at the time, right? And then we were just talking and talking, and then he's sipping on this this can of, I forgot, it was like this grape flavored drink. They call it White Claws here, right? Or seltzers, whatever the fuck they call it, man. They call it these kinds of drinks. And he was just sipping on it and sipping on it. And I was just looking at it like, why do you not feel anything? Because all of my mind, I was just thinking, oh yeah, drunk people are just always, you see in the movies, like drunk people are just always like stumbling over their own words, stumbling over shit. And the guy's like, he's normal, he's relaxing. Now, I completely didn't understand the concept of saturation then. I thought it's just like one sip, 5 minutes later, you're dead. I didn't understand the concept that you have to drink more and more and more, so you get more and more fucked up. I did not understand that concept. I was around 17 at the time, late 17s. This was August or September 4th, 2022, right? And I didn't understand this concept. I had no clue. So I'm just looking, I'm looking. And then we start talking about, like, you know, drinks. And then I mentioned to him, yeah, I never drank before. I've never ever drank before. Second, I mentioned that to him. His eyes widened. They widened so hard. And then, you know, when someone, like, hears you say something, and then, like, let's say I'm having a conversation with you, right? And then you say something to me, and imagine you get this reaction, right? I'm just drinking my own drink. You never drank before? guys, you know that reaction when, like, someone turns around and starts calling the other people to point at you? I saw that immediate reaction come out of that guy, and at that point I knew, okay, shit's about to hit the fan, right? There's about 30 drinks, like, just being passed around left and right and left and right, and I'm just sitting there, right? Because I was just relaxing. I wasn't even in the mood to drink. I'm fine socially, like, without any of this shit, right? I don't need any substance. I'm absolutely phenomenal socially with zero substance. And then this guy comes and says, guys, Ali's never drank before. Ali, you know, university culture, right? Ali's never drank before. And then I'm sitting there like, oh shit. Okay, I kind of know what's about to happen here. But it is my time to determine whether I will fall into this peer pressure or not. And I'm just sitting there and thinking and thinking and thinking. And then out of nowhere, guys, a hand just enters my POV. A big ass hand with this grape flavored grape soda, like vodka grape soda thing. And then it just enters my POV. And then the guy just plops it into my hand without even thinking. I was just sitting with the guy, and then some big ass hand just plops in a freaking vodka soda. I don't know what hand gave it to me. I don't know who. I don't know from where. This is university culture, bro. Welcome to the indoctrination centers you're all being sent to. I just get this shit thrown into my hand, right? And I'm just looking around. Who gave this to me? I'm in the middle of 30 people. And then the guy ahead of me, he's just looking at me like, try it. I'm like, try it. I don't drink this. And then some other random white guy just says, yo, are you Muslim, bro? And I'm like, yeah. I was trying to fit in, right? So I wasn't really like, yeah, man, I'm Muslim. I'm like proper Muslim and everything. I was just saying, like, yeah, I kind of am, you know, I don't know. You get the point, right? And then he's like, okay, man, it's fine. Just take it, bro. Just take it. And I'm just looking at the thing like, I am curious. And everyone there is telling me, okay, now I have the eyes of everyone, because you know, it's like I'm the prey in the situation, because everyone's drank before and they want to see me, like they want to see it. This is like culture, bro, right? They want to prey on the guy with the least experience, and I'm just looking at the can, I'm just looking at the thing, and I'm looking at everyone, and it's about 60 eyeballs staring at me, and the peer pressure is real. Drink it. Just try it. Just try a small piece, man. Just try a small sip. Just small. Just you won't. Nothing will happen, right? Right. We'll keep it controlled, Ali. And all of these excuses, all of these things they're saying are beginning to make sense in my head. It's like, oh, I mean, you know, it's fine. Why not try a small little sip? It's like, it's okay. You know, just it's nothing, right? So I'm looking at it, and I'm looking at this stupid little can of grape soda, not knowing how destructive it will be for the next 6 months of my life. And I crack it open. And I sniff it. And it smells like death. Because of my low tolerance. For the person who smells a cigarette for the first time, they always like, just the smell, not even smoke it, just the smell. It smells like shit. It doesn't smell good, right? And I smell it. And it's like, okay, this does not smell good. Because it was highly concentrated, it was just disgusting. Yeah, I'm good. No, Ali, take it. Right, man. It's just the first thing, man. It's okay. It's gonna be fine. We'll keep it controlled. Just a small little piece. Eventually, the peer pressure from all 60 eyeballs, the peer pressure from each and every single one of them telling me, do it, do it, do it, do it. There's nothing to lose. Just try. Just try. Just try. The seeds of corruption and pressure sprouted within my mind, and it was far too much for my weak, fickle mind at the time to handle. If only I had a video like this to help. But I took a look at the thing, and for the first time in my life, I took a sip. And once you take that first sip, guys, once you take that first bite, that first puff, that first touch, whatever it is, once you get that first action done, it's over. That's it. Downing and downing and downing the thing for the night. And let's just remember, and let's just say that I did not really remember much of that night. All I remember was I ended up eventually back in my room. Again, more women were involved, more degeneracy, more garbage, and I don't even know where these other friends ended up, right? This is what, you know, the fucking university culture leads you to. This is what peer pressure leads you to. And of course, it's completely my fault. I'm not blaming it on the outside world, but this is what you can experience without having the correct mindset. And for the next 6 months, for the first, like this is for the rest of the first year, I just entered this degenerate loop, but I will not end, like, you already know the story, right? I've mentioned this in many other videos. Now, that was the story of how I drank the first time. What can you learn? How can you resist this world of peer pressure around us? Because this isn't just with alcohol. This is with absolutely everything. This is with scrolling. This is with ideas. This is with sales. This is whatever it is. This is with absolutely everything. Any substance, right? It is everywhere. And I will not allow this to happen to you. So I need you to get out a pen and paper, because what I'm about to provide to you is something that young Ali, if he had at the time, would stand unwavering, and to this day, he would be clean off of any substance. First of all, let's begin with understanding that you need to reframe peer pressure as an opportunity. An opportunity for what? An opportunity to level up your skill. What skill? The resistance skill, the mental endurance skill, the mental fortitude skill. That is the skill you will be leveling up. Look, in a video game, right? When you go up against a 1v1 versus someone, you don't see that as a bad thing. You actually see it as an exciting thing. Because number one, you might win and it might feel good. And number two, even if you lose, well, you actually gain skill. When you go to the gym and you go and lift and it hurts, right? The progressive overload hurts because of course it does. When you go to the gym and you lift for, the dumbbell and you do the bicep curl, it hurts your bicep. Of course it does. But we don't look at that as a bad thing, right? We don't look at that as a bad thing. When we wake up at 5 a.m. and it hurts our, not even hurts, but like it's hard to wake up. But when you do it anyway, we're glad it hurts because it taught us and it made us stronger. And that is exactly what you must do with the sessions of peer pressure. It's almost like a progressive overload kind of thing. When you go to the gym, it hurts, but you grow from it. But here, when you go through like a peer pressure situation, it's highly pressurizing. It's dangerous, right? But you're almost progressively overloading your resistance skill. You're progressively overloading your mind, your ability to say no, to resist and shield this. You're making your shield stronger. So that's why you must not fear the opportunity itself, because the opportunity that is being provided to you is actually an opportunity for you to win. It's an opportunity for you to like improve your skill. You don't fear the gym sessions. Yeah, sometimes maybe you don't want to go, you're tired, but those are the exact times when you should go, right? When you fear it the most, that's when you should jump. When you're peering down the cliff and it is the scariest, that is when you should jump. When it has the most friction. Listen to this quote and listen to it carefully. When there is the most friction, that is when you jump. Why? Because that is when you level up the most. When you kill the highest level boss in the game, you get the most XP. What is the number one mob that gives you the most XP in Minecraft? It also happens to be the Ender Dragon, which is the final boss. The harder the dragon, the more XP you get. The bigger the dragon you slay, the greater the tale to tell. And that is what you're being provided with here, with this opportunity. When it comes, when it arises, this peer pressure, you look at it as an opportunity for XP, for growth. So do not fear it. And that is the first step to reframing your mind from this sort of stuff. Next, let's get into some of the actual practicality of what to do when you're faced with a situation like this, right? Let's say you're within the mind and body of Ali at the time, 2 years ago, at that moment. First of all, you must understand and believe in the concept of stoicism. Meaning, let's say you're in that situation, right? I'm going to give you a practical piece of advice and something that you can mentally envision in your mind. You must stand strong like this unwavering pillar. Imagine you are a metal pillar in the middle of an ocean. You know those those oil rigs at the middle of the ocean, even in the strongest hurricanes, and the strongest tsunamis, they stand still in the ocean. You are this metal pillar in an ocean of pressure, an ocean of environment of corruption. That is what you must envision yourself as. Now imagine you're in a situation like this and someone tells you, try this, try that, try this. What you must do, try this out. Stay silent for 5 seconds and simply just breathe. Feel what is happening around you. Have some mental awareness, and meditation can help with this. Have some mental awareness and cognizance of what is going on around you. You're in a situation and there's people right here peer pressuring you. Ali didn't realize that at the time. He just thought like, oh wait, this is just, they're telling me doing, like, fucking try it, right? Ali didn't realize back then that was a situation of pure and ultimate peer pressure. I didn't realize this. All I realized was like, yeah, I mean, why not try it? Yeah, there was some friction, but I didn't realize that was a concept of peer pressure. That was not what I realized. What you realize now, when you take this breath in and you just stand tall, understanding, okay, what is going on? Okay, it hits you. This is a situation of peer pressure, and this is an opportunity. You stand unmoving, unwavering, and stoic. Breathe, breathe, and breathe. Count to 5 seconds using breathing, and if people say, yo, wait, what's going on? You don't need to respond. Stay silent. Do not break your train of thought. You are in a meditative Zen session. You don't need to, because they will try and break your train of thought. You need to understand that these seeds of corruption are like demons entering your mind. Stand still, breathe, focus. What is going on here? Now, this is where you need to practice saying the words no more. Generally throughout your life, you need to practice saying the words no more, because I'll tell you something, and I'll tell you something right now. If you need to lie and make a fucking excuse to not go out to the club, or to not try out that joint, or to not do this or do that, if you need to make an excuse saying, oh man, I don't want to do it because I have to wake up early tomorrow. If you need to lie about the excuse instead of saying, no, I am Muslim, so I won't eat that, or I am Christian, so I won't do this, or I just don't drink in general, or I know it's bad for me, so I don't want to do that. If you don't want to say that because you were afraid it will make you seem less cool, or if you're afraid that, you need to just make this excuse for some kind of reason, which is not the truth. The excuse is not the truth. It may have some sort of truth where it's like, yeah, man, I don't want to smoke this because I have to be up early tomorrow. But the reality of the situation is you don't want to smoke this because you don't want to smoke because you're not a donkey, right? But you don't want to tell him that. If you fear that, and if you have to make up some kind of excuse, understand that these are not your real fucking friends. I needed this piece of advice for so many goddamn months and years. I needed someone to tell me this. If I had to lie, and if I had to, hold something back, these are not your friends. They are not your friends. They are people you engage with around you. They are simply humans around you. They are not your friends. So many of you misunderstand what a friend fucking is. What a friend even is. A friend isn't someone you spend time with. It is not someone you spend time with, bro. I can spend time with a random stranger. That doesn't make him my friend. A friend is someone who sticks with you, who understands you, who stays with you through an army of battles, bro. Who would take fights for you. If you're standing with that guy, and let's say 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 guys, they just jump you in the streets, is he gonna run or is he gonna fight with you? Is he gonna run or is he gonna fucking fight with you? But you can't tell him, oh no, because I don't smoke because I don't think it's good. You fear his reaction, you fear his judgment. You never fear a friend's judgment. You never fear it. Very strong technique to stay away from this peer pressuring is using something called anchoring. You need to have something called a personal anchor and a physical anchor. Let's talk about the personal anchor first. The personal anchor is an anchor that tells you why you're not taking this in the first place. For example, a personal anchor, it's something that's bigger than yourself. For example, let's say, you're being provided that drink and you don't want to drink. Well, you have something that's bigger than you, which is God. God prohibited you to drink, for example, if you're a Muslim, right? Or maybe your father was an alcoholic and he used to beat you as a child. So you have a bigger reason not to do this. Or maybe you just simply know that it will ruin the rest of your life. So you have a bigger reason not to do this. Or maybe you don't want to eat this shit because you have a bigger reason, which is getting in shape so you can play with your fucking children and not have heart disease at fucking age 50. Oh, but the cholesterol, okay, keep getting bribed. Having a personal anchor simply means having a reason that is bigger than yourself. not to do this. And the other part is having a physical anchor. A physical anchor is way more simple. Whenever you are faced with this situation of peer pressure, you simply snap out of it using this physical anchor. For example, a physical anchor could be you doing something like grabbing your thumb, right? Or just taking a deep breath in. A physical anchor is something that takes you out of your mind. It's kind of like meditation, but within like something physical, right? Something that takes you out of that mind, overthinking kind of state. When Ali was in that corrupted state of just thinking and thinking, should I do this? Should I do this? Should I do this? I was so mindless. I was like a billion thoughts were going through my mind. Imagine how different would my life have been if I just took a breath in and said, "No, man, I'm good." Right? Of course, I would have gotten more peer pressure, but what if I just continued resisting that through staying stoic and unwavering and seeing all of this and almost laughing at it, right? Almost laughing at that pathetic attempt to penetrate my mind. That is something you need to do. Almost look at it and realize with cognizance and mindfulness that this is what peer pressure is. This is what so many people fucking fail against. Peasantry. You need to get that kind of energy, right? You need to have this energy of like, wait. This is so easy to defeat. I have 10 guys telling me to smoke that cigarette, but I can just say no. They can keep talking all they want. They can keep trying to convince, but I know I'll just say no. This is what so many people fail against. You need to get angry at yourself, right? Angry at yourself, almost with this strong, egotistical, superior mindset. Have some fucking ego for once and say, no, I'm literally better than you. I will not smoke this shit. So having that physical anchor could just be something like, feeling how your legs feel or feeling how your throat feels in the moment or just taking a deep breath. Something that anchors you, returns you to the moment, that pulls you out of your own mind. Next, you must also master the art of deflecting. Now, what is deflecting? Let me tell you a story of someone who tried to give me a receipt. And this is going to sound very schizo. We all started with wanting abs and now we're scared to touch receipts because of the bisphenol A that will crash our test by 50%. Now we're scared to touch receipts, right? Fine, no problem. But there was once a time where I was like buying groceries, whatever, and I had like 7 bags of meat in my in my trolley, right? And then I'm getting the like paying for everything, right? And then the lady, the cashier, she pulls out the receipt. She's like, "Here you go." And I'm just like, "Okay, no, I'm good, thank you. I'm just putting this stuff in my bag." She's like, "No, I'm forced to give it to you. Please take it." I was like, "No, that's fine." She's like, "Please, by company policy, take it. I have to give it to you. Take it." And she's like peer pressuring me now. She's proper getting angry. I just literally just keep on putting. What's she gonna do? She can't put it in my bag. She's just holding it out there. And of course, your normal human response would be to just be like, "Oh, fine, sorry, I'll take it." Just kept on. She's there for 10 seconds doing this. Literally, just 10 seconds. Imagine someone holding this. Imagine, let me give you something, right? Imagine this is my wallet. Crocodile leather. Someone just holding this wallet out for 10 seconds, right? The natural human response would just be, "Okay, fine, I'll take it," right? 5 guys behind me in queue, and she's just holding the receipt out, and I'm just looking at it, like, just putting my meat in the bag. "Thank you, I'm good." "Please take it." Grab the meat, walk outside the store. Of course, she probably thought I was a fucking asshole. I followed my beliefs. Of course, she thought I was an asshole, but if I took that receipt, I would have been my own asshole because I don't stick to my own beliefs and promises and philosophies. Because I think I go home thinking, yeah, why didn't I say no? Was I that much of a bitch to just say no to a fucking someone holding out a receipt to me? That's the thing with unwavering stoicism, standing like a metal pillar. Do you think if a whale came to that metal pillar and said, "Hey, move or I'm gonna bash you," the metal pillar would move? The metal pillar won't move and the whale can bash its head into the pillar all at once. You think if a tsunami was on the distant horizon, coming all the way to this metal pillar, to this oil rig, the oil rig would budge an inch? Absolutely not. It would not budge a singular inch. Hold out your fucking receipt for 300 seconds, woman. I will not touch your peasant test crashing materials. You also need to plan ahead for these future situations. You must plan ahead for these future situations, because if you don't plan ahead, right, we have all these, like, we're motivated, now we believe, yeah, man, whatever. Visualize the situation with your own group of people telling you, okay, smoke this, try this, take this, eat this, and you don't want to do this. What exactly are you going to do? Mentally envision, almost enter this 4th dimension in your own mind and close it and envision that guy who always is the one who gives it to you, or envision that guy giving it to you, like literally sticking it out with his hand, and then the other 10 guys saying, "Bro, just take it, man, I want it, my turn, finish your turn so I take it." What's your reaction? "Okay, fine, man, take it." What's your reaction? Because mine, And the right one would just simply be, I'm good, thanks. Take it, man. No, man, I'm good. I'm not doing that. I'm good, bro. I'm not taking that. Next. Envision and visualize yourself in that situation. Calculated and stoic. You must also remember that this whole path of self-evolution is doing it for your future self. Because visualize this, right? Let's say you've never smoked or you've never drank something. And thankfully, I did not end up like this. Thankfully, I ended up like this. You know, the guy who's against this shit. But let's say you become that person who smokes, like, you smoke the cigarette for the first time. Or you drink for the first time. Envision yourself 30 years down the fucking line. An alcoholic, beer belly, estrogenic, beating the one woman you ever knew. Maybe you have kids, you beat them, they hate you, you get sent to jail. Envision all these terrible things happening in your mind. Envision dying at age 45 because of lung cancer. Envision dying fat. That thought enough is alone to scare me and to petrify me for life. And alcohol will do that to you. Like beer, for example. Find me one person who's over the age of 50 who drinks beer on a daily basis who does not have a fucking flob of fat on their stomach. Find me one person. I dare you. Find me. You won't find it. And envision yourself as that guy. Envision yourself as this unathletic, rotten, degenerate future in your life. And you're gone. You're so deep into the addiction you can never change it. But then imagine that this today was the decision that changed it all for you. Today was a decision. Right now, this cigarette that I'm offering you, this drink, this grape soda, vodka shit, right? Whatever the fuck that was. Imagine that. That was the gateway into a life of eternal hell. And for me, a life of eternal hell is simply being fat, right? So just imagine that. That alone is enough to petrify the fuck out of you. And it will make you never, ever touch this shit. The thing is, the people you surround yourself with are the people who will shape you for the rest of your life. Anyone you don't respect, anyone who's fat, anyone who's this, X, Y, or Z, right? You probably look at their circle and they're all like that. Anyone with that beer belly, who's unsuccessful, whose wife hates them, whose kids hate them, anyone with that sort of life, you look around them and it's like they're all the same. Their entire friend group is all the same. So imagine if your friend group, imagine your people were machines. They were successful, they were jacked, they were healthy, they took care of their lives, they took care of every single realm, and they actually peer pressured you and forced you to become a better person, kind of like masculine brotherhood, like iron sharpening iron. This is exactly what we have at our family inside Blackthorn. We literally peer pressure each other into such a strong, brotherhood. We peer pressure ourselves into positivity, not this bullshit that you have out there in the world. Yesterday, there was a 1v1 competition, right? I had all the guys inside the family 1v1 each other. They picked a partner and they 1v1'd each other. And the 1v1 was who could get 100 push-ups first, right? Like who could speedrun 100 push-ups with good form first. You know what that fucking does to you? You know what that does to the mind? It sharpens you and it makes you a competitor. It makes you sharp. It makes you a sword against all these peasants out there in the world. I called out the entire family of Blackthorn to beat my time, and the winner was to be rewarded with like money sent to their crypto wallet. It was like $50, right? But we have like all this shit hosted all the time. You know what this masculine brotherhood, this family does for you? And then here you are worried about what kind of friends to have. When you can join a fucking family of machines, when you surround yourselves with machines, that is exactly what you become. We are absolute machinery within Blackthorn. You need to surround yourselves with machines. So join Blackthorn, is the first link in the description, brother. If you found value on this video, subscribe. I don't like saying this, YouTube or whatever, all this bullshit, but I must defeat the evil swords of evil that YouTube has laid upon me. Wish not for a lighter load, but for a stronger back.